Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so we got another game tonight. Los Angeles Lakers versus the Dallas Mavericks in Vegas. We're going to be the home team there. And the game is at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. And, of course, with the Dallas Mavericks and the Lakers, it's always going to be some narratives or some storylines, rather. And so we're prepared for Luka, of course, to potentially play in this game. He did play last night. They did say he was probably going to play 2 of the last 4 games. So it would either be this one or the next game against the Sacramento Kings to go along with the game he played last night, for which he looked really good. We only played him 22 minutes. He smoked it out there. The shot was falling. He looked great. A couple turnovers, but, we expect that anyway. So, yeah, I thought yesterday's game was pretty solid for the most part. We had a good first half lead with the guys that we were expecting to utilize in the regular season some, and then we brought in our guys that maybe could potentially get cut, and we got cut down. Our transition defensive issues are glaring, no matter who's on the floor, so I know we have some team principle stuff to work on in that area. But the 3-ball is starting to fall. We've been gradually getting better with our overall shooting. We've been getting to the line as much as probably anybody in the entire league right now. And I think the guys that we saw struggle with their shooting slumps to start the season have improved as games have progressed as well. So I've been encouraged by Rui Hachimura's last performance, Dalton's last 2 performances. Gabe Vincent's had some good performances in this preseason. Davis, the rookie, has had a pretty good preseason. So it's just been a lot of positive stuff individually. I think Ayton has had a pretty encouraging preseason, especially on the defensive end. So, overall, I think we've done very good for the most part, and hopefully we can continue that momentum today, win or lose. Let's be competitive. So, yeah, last night's game was a little of a bummer, 113-104, only because you had the big lead at halftime and then ultimately gave it back. Had some me-ball stuff in the fourth quarter, guys trying to showcase themselves when they probably shouldn't be asked to do that. So it was a little frustrating to not win after Luka and Austin torched everybody in the first half. And Ayton crashed the glass very well. Laravia also. Koloko had a really good rebounding game as well. We killed it on the glass and still lost by almost 10 points. So, yeah, there were some things wrong with the Lakers. And for me, it just starts and ends with transition defense. You get that under control, where you're not giving up 26 points off of 20 turnovers, and you're going to win games like this, where the other team, gets blitz in the first half, and then ultimately it's about you holding them off. They did have some guys go off, to say the least. You want to talk about the ex-Laker Jordan Goodwin. He had 24 points, 6 assists. Obviously, Jared Butler went off for a game of his life, 35 points, 9 assists, 7 boards, 1 steal. That's the type of stuff that you don't want to see. Kamen Malawach had a huge game, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 8 of 10 from the field in 31 minutes. You just don't like some of the individual performances the Lakers gave up out there. You really don't, especially when they had a cold guy, Kobe Bryant, going 2 for 12, 0 of 6 from behind the arc. You want to be able to benefit from something like that going on, and we did not. And it was just because we could not stop anybody at all. And so my issue with the Lakers is not necessarily offense, although we have discussed our offense being a bit of a struggle. It's improving. Our defense, however, I don't see much of an improvement there at all. And tonight, it's going to be tough because we're going up against a team that we're probably going to have difficulty guarding and a difficulty with defensively as well. According to this stat here, the Dallas Mavericks are actually the number 1 ranked defense in the preseason. I don't think anybody should be overly surprised by that just because of the personnel that they have. When you're talking about Derek Lively, you're talking about Cooper Flagg, obviously Anthony Davis, you're gonna have some good things happen out there defensively. And of course, they do have Daniel Gafford. He's a game-time decision. So that's just length and shot blocking ability and deflection ability and all of that. So we understand this is one of the elite defenses going forward if they come together like I expect they will. And even though they do have some glaring defensive issues with some of their guard play, ultimately their rim protection is second to none. in this NBA today. So, yeah, that's something that needs to be understood. Your injury report, starting with the Dallas Mavericks, Delano Blanton is a game-time decision. Dante Exum also a game-time decision. As I mentioned, Gafford, a GTD. Kyrie's going to be out probably until January or something like that. That's just me guessing. Caleb Martin, also a game-time decision. No disclosure on what the injury is. D'Lo is resting tonight, so we do not have to worry about D'Angelo Russell. And a guy by the name of Brandon Williams, who is on the verge of breaking out. He's a very highly productive role player. He's a game-time decision for the Mavericks. I think his role is going to be huge this year, and I pencil him in as one of the most underrated prospects out there. I think he's a very underrated prospect. He showed me last year, Brandon Williams, that he was the truth with the minutes given, and he's just settling into kind of a afterthought role with a Dallas Maverick team that I know he's going to flourish in. He's going to flourish in that role this season with this potentially being a playoff team. So, yeah, I don't know if we'll see him tonight, but I have Brandon Williams circled for the rest of the season. I just think he's going to come out of nowhere because that's what he's been doing. So, yeah, be aware of that particular piece. And for the Lakers, of course, Bron is going to be out for another couple of weeks with the pinched nerve thingy. Maxi Kleber, quadriceps. He's a GTD tonight, so we don't know if we'll see him. And Abdou Thero is still out. I say his name wrong. There's no B there. Abdou Thero is out with a knee, and we don't know how long this is going to last, but it's lingering throughout the course of the preseason, and it's not making me very happy as a fan because I'm ready to see Abdou Thero, straight up. Tired of waiting around on some of these guys that we've been talking about all summer. We ain't seen them yet. I call them the mythical young players. It's like 4 of them. You never see them, but you know they're there. So anyway, that's really what's going on with that particular situation. The Dallas Mavericks are 2-1 in the preseason, coming off a victory against the Utah Jazz. I didn't watch highlights of that game. I did not come prepared as I normally would like to. Like I said, throughout the course of the preseason, I just haven't been as settled into doing homework on the opponent because it isn't much about winning or about opponents. It's more so about your own tendencies and getting to the crux of overcoming any rust going into the regular season. So because that is the case, I think the opponent is important, but somewhat as an afterthought as it pertains to how I want to approach these games. So we'll talk about the Dallas Mavericks briefly, but the detailed stuff will come when the regular season comes around. Now, Dallas Mavericks, essentially, as I said, a 2-1 team, number 1 defense in the preseason right now, according to what it is I've read. They did lose a game against the Charlotte Hornets that surprised a lot of people, a 120-116 loss, where they shot 37% from the 3, 51% from the field, but lost because they got crushed on the glass, which is something you don't expect to see very often with the Dallas Mavericks, given all these lengthy guys that they have, big players that they have on their roster. But Charlotte was able to manage. And you got to give credit to Kalkbrenner and Bridges, who both had double-digit boards. And then just everybody else. Saloon chipped in with 6. Con Knipple had 4. Plumlee had 4. Sexton had 4. So they just have a lot of talent crashing the glass in that particular game. And you walk away with Anthony Davis only getting 4 rebounds, Cooper with 3 rebounds, Lively with 6. They just got outworked. P.J. Washington only had 2 boards. Not a very impressive rebounding game for a Dallas Maverick team that should thrive on the glass. They lost that game. I do not expect that they're going to rebound as poorly against us tonight. I don't think they have any deficiencies rebounding the ball as a team. But that game was rather glaring when you consider the Charlotte Hornets are not a very big team and that the Dallas Mavericks are massive. Sometimes it doesn't equate to better rebounding. Sometimes it has to do with effort and positioning. But I have my mind circled on the rebounding total because the Lakers really thrived yesterday against a big Phoenix team on the glass. We lost the game, but when you talk about Malawach being out there, you talk about Fleming being out there, Ryan Dunn and those guys, and we were able to rebound the ball as well as we did, that's something I'd like to see us duplicate tonight against a Dallas team that just hasn't been rebounding up to their capability. Now, they did have 18 offensive boards and 59 total boards against the Utah Jazz in the previous matchup. Didn't shoot all that well as a team. They shot 28% from behind the arc on 53 three-point attempts, did the Dallas Mavericks. Still won the game. They shot 39% from the field, 39 and 94, and they got to the line 32 times. So we need to be very aware that this Dallas team gets to the line just like we do. We could be looking at a 4-hour basketball game if both of these teams reach their peak with their free throw capabilities. So that's something that we definitely do not want to see. We've been able to benefit greatly off the other team not getting to the line. I don't think that happens tonight. They got to the line against the Charlotte Hornets in that loss 21 times. So Dallas gets there. They get there. And that's what I want us to understand. Dallas did win their first game in the preseason against OKC, but who was OKC actually playing? They probably didn't have any of their real guys out there. They played a bunch of hopefuls. And Davis and Flagg and those guys came out, did well for the most part. Yeah, pretty efficient night from both of them. And once again, we look at the glass. The Dallas Mavericks got there 58 times, 58 rebounds in total, 11 offensive boards. So that's more about what I expect. 58, 59, almost 60 boards from this massive team. I don't know what happened there against the Jazz, or against Charlotte, rather. But nevertheless, I expect better rebounding from the Dallas Mavericks, and I expect us, both teams, to get to the line a lot. So, yeah, these are things that I'm just considering. When it comes to the Dallas Mavericks, you just got to understand that you're going up against Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively. They all can block shots repeatedly, stocks all day. I just think it's going to be very difficult for anybody to deal with Dallas this season, period. So we're no exception in the preseason. Obviously, we're missing some guys, but hopefully we'll have Luka out there for a second night of a back-to-back. I don't know why that's a hopefully. I actually don't want him to play tonight. But that's a whole nother story. Point is, Dallas is more than capable of giving us trouble. We're more than capable of wetting the bed the way we've been defending in transition. So I'm poised to see the Los Angeles Lakers come in with a certain intention to detail. And I'm poised to see a bunch of players who didn't necessarily play last night play tonight, try to balance out what it is that we see there on a back-to-back. So that means I expect to see more Rui Hachimura tonight since he didn't play. Vanderbilt I expect to see since he didn't play last night. Jackson Hayes, Gabe Vincent, I do expect to see those people more than maybe we saw last night since they literally didn't play. And maybe we see less Jake LaRavia tonight. Maybe we see less Nick Smith. Maybe we see less Bronny James tonight on a second of a back-to-back and just kind of lean into those other players who didn't play very much. Just a guess. We'll see. Who knows? But all in all, that's pretty much my take on this particular basketball game ahead of it, I should say. The Dallas Mavericks are more than capable. I'm curious to see how Flagg looks against a big-time Laker team, giving them a big stage. Anthony Davis, anytime we see AD, it's going to be a problem. We know that. And Luka going back to Dallas is always going to be a problem for them. So this is the first of what I would imagine would be first of 5 matchups. 4 in the regular season. We'll see them on 11-28, 1-24, 2-12, and 4-5. Those are the dates for our matchups against the Mavericks. For those who want to circle that on the calendar as must-see TV, I'd imagine it will be considered that. And all 4 of those games are nationally televised. I don't know about tonight's, though. I think it is. I think it probably is on one of those big networks. So, yeah, man, that's really what's there to see. Not much more to it than that for me. I'm curious to continue see if our coach is going to give big minutes to guys like Dalton Connect and big opportunities to continue to shoot his way out of slump. That's been the theme of the preseason for me, is just identifying players that have been struggling like Rui and Dalton and just allowing them enough reps to shoot themselves out of the slumps they're in. So, yeah, so far so good from what it is I want to see. I would like to see some gradual improvement in the transition buckets category. Transition defense, specifically. We must get a stop here and there. We must get back. If it means changing our strategy on boards, so be it. But we can't keep bleeding in transition like the Lakers have been. Can't. You're not going to win basketball games. So that's pretty much where we're at, man. Lakers, Mavericks. I have no idea what the teams are wearing. This early in the season, they never let us know, but that's something I like to do. is let you know what the team's jerseys look like. They just don't have that information in the preseason apparently. But it was good seeing Marcus Smart out there yesterday. Hopefully we can get him to produce a little bit. Wasn't much to it other than a bunch of jogging last night, but at least he put on purple and gold. We got to see what he looked like in the uniform. Hopefully we'll get some shots up in this one if he plays tonight. So, yeah, man, welcome back, Luka. Welcome back, welcome in, Marcus. It's good to have the new guys in place. LaRavia's been great. Ayton has been a breath of fresh air. Still have a bunch of players we have yet to see, man. Magnon, Marcialonis, Thero, some of these other guys. We just don't know these players. We'd love to see them. Hopefully tonight will be the night we get a look at a few of those guys. So, that's pretty much my take on things. Not a long video for this one. I have a game video for you, of course, hopefully documenting a victory. And, of course, at halftime, we'll review what we've seen in the first half as well. So that's pretty much what I got. My name is BDO44, and I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.